complicated. This iteration, I get to play Natasha as a fully realized woman. I'm always picking up after you boys.
We're continuing the legacy of the MCU. And we're going to do that in new ways, unexpected ways, and really build on the legacy of what's come before.
With the series, you're going to see a different side of Clint Barton that you haven't seen before.
And what if we were going to explore corners of the universe that might be untouched, which is really exciting.
I am burdened with glorious purpose.
One of the biggest questions that audiences had coming out of Endgame is, where did Loki go? This series will answer that.
The great thing about WandaVision is that we get to see what an ideal life for Wanda and Vision actually looks like.
We should have stayed in bed.
We're going to make the first scary MCU film.
The Ten Rings has been in the MCU since the very beginning.
The Eternals are the really special group of people that will feel different than anything we've done before.
This show is going to be about two characters that have become simply fan favorites.
Can you move your seat up? No.
Hey everybody, it's Charlie. This is going to be my Marvel Phase 4 trailer breakdown. We have Black Widow footage to break down. We have a bunch of Eternal stuff. We finally found out who Kit Harington is going to be playing in the MCU. Tom Holland's Spider-Man was even on stage at D23 after the Marvel Movies panel. How awkward is that? I guarantee you they're not going to let him do interviews this weekend. This video will be about mostly the movie stuff that they revealed. There was a bunch of TV stuff and previews that they released this weekend too. Like during that trailer, you see a bunch of footage from the other TV series during Marvel Phase 4. There's a new round of the Avengers Endgame and Spider-Man Far From Home Blu-ray giveaways. All you have to do to enter those is be a subscriber and leave your best Marvel Phase 4 theory on the video. Starting with number 5, the Black Widow trailer footage. So you see her and Yelena Belova just going at it. So a little bit of that clip is from the Comic-Con trailer that they showed off a couple weeks ago. There was also some separate footage that they screened that they didn't allow anyone to record with a Natasha Black Widow in a full white suit that we've never seen her in before fighting Yelena Belova. So there's a lot of one-upsmanship that goes on between them that also harkens back to their comic book backstory where Yelena Belova for a brief time was trying to take the mantle of Black Widow from her, or the lead Black Widow, because technically they're all called Black Widows. You have to think of them as like sisters that are fighting with each other, one thinking they're better than the other. Yelena Belova trying to show up the Natasha Black Widow. During their fight, Yelena Belova starts mocking Natasha Black Widow's pose, calling her a poser. Look, your pose is terrible. You're a total poser. The other footage they showed off actually does show her having a really badass throwdown fight with Taskmaster, and it kind of explains his abilities too. His ability to instantly learn other people's moves and copy them and make them better. He chases her down, causes her to crash, then they get into a knockdown drag-out fight. Her moves are actually pretty badass during the movie, very John Wick fighting style. I actually do think that they got the fight choreographer from John Wick, which makes me way more excited about what's going on with the action scenes. You've seen a little bit of Black Widow's fighting style in all the movies she's been in, so she starts to one-up him a little bit, but then slowly you start to see him counter her moves. Within a couple moments, he's copying her move to move, and they're fighting each other to a standstill, then he brings his shield out. Sheriff Hopper from Stranger Things is playing Alexei Shostakov, the Red Guardian. I've already talked a lot about his character in the last big Black Widow trailer video that I did, so I'll link that at the end of this. I included a clip in that where he talks a little bit about how his character is fun. Very different relationship with Natasha Black Widow in the past than he does in present day. Because remember, she used to be full-on team member of the Red Room before Hawkeye found her in Budapest and brought her into the Avengers and taught her sort of a better way of life. Like, you can actually get some of this red off of your ledger. That's the idea of the Black Widow movie, is explaining a lot of those comments that she makes and the Budapest jokes that they tell each other in all the Avengers films. Early theory about the end of that movie, Hawkeye shows up in a cameo and then offers to bring her into S.H.I.E.L.D. for Nick Fury. Because Nick Fury is actually the one that sent Hawkeye to check out Black Widow way back before she became a member of the team. Number 4, there was a whole bunch of other clips during that. Obviously, some of that's from the TV shows, some of that's from the movies. So you have the Hawkeye series clip, there's a What If clip with a brief explainer of the series, a Loki series clip, some footage from the WandaVision show, a clip from Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, a clip from Shang-Chi in the Legend of the Ten Rings, an Eternals clip. I'll talk about the Eternals panel in a second too at D23 because they brought everybody out on stage with some concept art of what their characters actually look like. And a lot of the Kit Harington news is part of that Eternals news. And then obviously showing off a clip from Falcon and Winter Soldier. That's actually going to be the very first Disney Plus series to premiere. Remember, Baron Zemo is going to be the main villain of that. I will do like a separate, really big video for all the Marvel Phase 4 TV series because they announced Moon Knight, She-Hulk, Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel. There's a whole bunch of other stuff that they dropped this weekend. 3, breaking down the big Eternals preview that they just had a couple hours ago as of me posting this video. So Kit Harington from Game of Thrones confirmed to be joining the Eternals as Dane Whitman, aka the Black Knight. Everybody wondering if the Black Knight was going to join the MCU. There were rumors about him during Spider-Man Far From Home and during Avengers Endgame. Now it's finally confirmed he's going to be joining the Eternals movie. I'll explain what his connection to those characters are, because if you're a super huge comic book fan, you will remember that he is one of the earliest, newer team members from the classic Avengers comics. Like way back, Avengers, I think it was 47 when he debuted, back in the 60s. So he goes way, way back with the Avengers. Remember, the Eternals movie takes place in the distant past of the MCU, but also takes place in present day. Because they're quote-unquote eternal, they reincarnate, so that's how you sort of bridge the timeline of the MCU, going back to the dawn of the universe, the Celestials, then the dawn of mankind on Earth, and now what's happening in present day post-Avengers Endgame. They also confirmed that Gemma Chan from the Captain Marvel movie, who played a Kree during that, is going to be playing a different character on the Eternals. She will be Cersei. For a long time when they announced Angelina Jolie, people thought that she would be playing Cersei, but she's actually playing Thena. Gemma Chan will be Cersei. I'm probably going to mispronounce his name, but Barry Keoghan is playing Druig. He's initially kind of the main villain. He's a deviant, but he's on stage with them here in this roster, so it seems like they're implying that he's going to be one of the more dysfunctional members of their family. There'll be a couple changes to the comic book, but I did a big Eternals preview video yesterday explaining the comic book story that they're basing the movie on, and it's mostly Neil Gaiman's Eternals, and Druig technically isn't the main villain at the beginning of that story. Just looking at this preview of all their characters here going left to right, so on the left, Richard Madden is playing the lead, he's Icarus. Kumail Nanjiani is Kingo. Lauren Ridloff from The Walking Dead is Makari. Brian Tyree Henry, who you'll recognize from Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, is Phastos. He played Miles Morales' father during Spider-Verse. You only heard his voice, but I believe he was also in a couple other Marvel films as minor characters. Salma Hayek is playing Ajax. She's sort of the administrator of the group within the movie, even though technically they're all god-level power and worshipped by the people of Earth as gods. Technically, they do have a power structure, and there is a leader of the group. Leah McHugh is playing Sprite. She's the same age as all these others, but when they became Eternals, when they were modified by the Celestials, she was a little girl. So it'd be like a little girl being turned into a vampire. She could be thousands of years old, and she still looks like a little girl. Dong Seok Ma is Gilgamesh here. Angelina Jolie is playing Thena. She'll be blonde in the movie, just like comic book Thena. That's why her hair's blonde in this preview. Probably mispronouncing his name again, but the person on her right, Barry Keoghan, is Druig in his comic book uniform. And the last person who you don't really see on stage here is Gemma Chan playing Cersei, but you see a picture of her character. The connection between Kit Harington's Black Knight character and the Eternals characters, at least in the comics going way, way back to those original Avengers crossovers, is that for a brief period, the Black Knight was romantically involved with Cersei's character. She started to go mad, but for the most part, he's meant to be a hero, even though technically the Black Knight makes him sound like a villain. He is a good character. He was a member of the Avengers briefly in the classic comics. The backstory of the character, though, is that he's a genetic descendant of the original Black Knight from the King Arthur Chronicles, but he's technically the third version of the character. He's just a modern-day descendant of the original Black Knight. In all the concept art that you see of the character, he's wielding his special sword. That's what gives him his powers. It's called the Ebony Blade. It's been passed down through the ages, but it carries a terrible curse. Anyone who wields it will slowly go mad. So the longer he uses it, the crazier and crazier he gets. It'll be interesting to see how they incorporate that into the movie. But he's mostly a normal person. He only has special powers when he's wielding the Ebony Blade. 2, they confirmed that Black Panther 2 is dropping May 6, 2022. The first draft of the script is done, Ryan Coogler's coming back, everyone's coming back. They do have a brand new main villain. The reason why they probably didn't reveal who that was, they wouldn't say who the new villain is because, wait for it, it's probably going to be a mutant character, aka Namor, or one of the other big ones from the Fox Marvel group. The reason why people think that Black Panther 2 is going to be the first big Marvel MCU movie that incorporates Fox Marvel characters or mutant characters is because it's not happening till 2022. So you already have most of Marvel Phase 4 to sort of spin out the logic of how mutants can exist in the MCU. In number 1, major awkward moment, Tom Holland's Spider-Man was on stage at D23. He has another Pixar movie that's coming out that they were doing a presentation for. Chris Pratt is also on that movie, so both of them were on stage together presenting right after the big Marvel panel. It was the most awkward thing ever. There were people in the crowd screaming Spider-Man at him during the panel. He said something briefly. They did not let him do interviews, as you would expect. Because all this craziness with Marvel and Sony, there's no way they're going to let Tom Holland do any interviews this weekend. I'm kind of waiting for some more updates and developments on the situation between Marvel and Sony before doing another Spider-Man video, because it is changing day to day, but things are relatively hopeful, so it's not completely over at this point between the two. I know you guys are all going crazy about all the new stuff they announced at the Marvel Phase 4 TV panel for Disney Plus yesterday. I will do a video for that next that should post on Sunday. Post all your reactions in the comments, everybody go crazy, it's gonna be awesome. Congratulations, Thrash Maniac 99, you're the giveaway winner from my last big Marvel video. Please email me on the About page of my channel so I can get your details. Yes, the Eternals will also be very important for explaining how mutants exist in the MCU, and we just haven't seen them till now. So everybody click here for my big Marvel Phase 4 Eternals preview video that I just posted, and click here to rewatch the Star Wars Mandalorian trailer video. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody stay awesome. I'll see you guys tonight.